Good morning. I am starting this channel. This is a new channel. Welcome if you're watching. Uh, I'm very new at this. Not a real good public speaker in any way, but just wanted to start this channel and talk about um, various topics each day. I'm not sure about each day. Probably going to do a couple a week. Um, and Your comments are welcome because I think we all have something to share about every topic that there is, um, and can be very other people's opinions can be very insightful for others. Um, it And I think can help each other along the way. I know it would help me, and I hope that I can help you. Um, my plans for the channel are I would my my dream is to live on the road. Um, I'm waiting for my wife to retire. Uh, my plan is to live full time on the road. Hers is a little different. She went to home base. I kind of want a home base, but I don't want a home base. Um, and we'll get into that topic a little bit later on another video. Um, I like well, I'm gonna go back to my plans. My plans are to take and make videos on the road, like many others do. I know there's probably thousands, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people doing that. But I'm trying to bring something new and refreshing to those types of videos. Um, but until then, until I do my travels, I'm going to do videos here and talk about different topics. And my topic for today is I'm going to start right up with drug addiction. Um, I am not an addict. I've never been an addict. I've always been very judgmental of addicts, pretty much all my life, and many people have. Um, I have a child, an adult child, who's an addict, um, and she did some bad things. I'm not going to go into detail because it's her life, but um, she broke a lot of hearts, and uh, she has since been going to NA meetings um, along with a young man that she met in a drug house. He went to rehab. He's in NA meetings, and from what I see so far, they're doing very well, but they have a very long road ahead of them. So I started going to NA meetings with them, even though I'm not an addict. I want to support them and try to get them to help them get on a road to a better life, to realize that there's a life out there for them to live. Um, and I gotta say, if you have a child or a loved one, a parent, a brother or sister, niece, nephew, what have you, that is an addict, uh, and if you can see any sign of hope in them trying to get better in some way, try to guide them to NA meetings. Um, it's it educated me a lot. I'm not an addict, and I learned a lot. Um, I was, like I said, I was very judgmental about addicts. I thought they were trash. They were no good. They're breathing good air that some good person could be breathing. And I thought that, drug addicts do these drugs just for fun, for kicks. They wanted to get high, and that's how they had a good time. Um, but what I and maybe call me uh, call me dumb, call me stupid, call me naive, but that's how I thought about them. And I know that there's many others. I'm not the only one that's thought that. Many others do too. And there was many others who realized this too, that I've come to realize since going to the meetings and it being my daughter, um, that these addicts, their problems stem from depression and mental illness. They they don't know how to deal with these things, and instead of getting help, they turn to the drugs. They're in a deep, dark place. They have nowhere. They feel they have nowhere to turn. They have no one to turn to, um, and this they feel like this is their only escape, other than suicide. And some do turn to suicide, and some unfortunately are successful at suicide, and then there's others who aren't, and they get a second chance. I uh, I urge you, uh, if you like I said, if you have a loved one who is an addict, and if you can guide them to go to meetings or go to rehab, um, tell them you'll go with them, support them. That's a big deal to them. I'm not saying to cradle and coddle the drug addict. I'm not saying that at all, because you do have to be firm with them. You have to set boundaries. You can't, because if you coddle and cradle them, you might as well just dig the grave yourself and to put them in. Um, but they need support to help themselves. They got to be taught how to help themselves again. They got to be taught again how to do it. Um, it's a long road for them, and there's so many things I want to say. Like I said, I'm not a very good public speaker, uh, but this is a topic I wanted to touch on. Um, I I hope that you all can understand, and that these these people are in need of help. Giving them methadone and Suboxone and stuff like this. These are not, in my opinion, I am not in any way, shape, or form a doctor or some kind of drug specialist or psychiatrist or psychologist or anything like that. I am nothing of the sort. But from what I've witnessed, from stories I've heard, uh, methadone, Suboxone, these drugs are not a cure for drug addiction. They are merely a band aid. They are government subsidized heroin and whatnot, and it just keeps the drug addict hooked on drugs. Um, and it's not right that the government does this. The only way to stop drugs, to stop doing drugs, is to stop doing drugs. Period. Methadone is a drug. You got to stop doing the drugs. But to do that, it's a mental issue. We need more mental health facilities and help in this country than we do methadone. Um, like they say, you got to nip it in the bud. No pun intended about weed, but you do. You got to get it. You got to get at the root of the problem. Not try to just cover it up with something. Um, And since I mentioned weed, I used to be a supporter of marijuana. I'm not a smoker. Like I said, I have smoked marijuana um, a few times in my life. Not a fan of it. I mean, it never really did anything for me, but made me tired. Um, I never really saw what anybody really liked about it. But I used to support others who smoked it. Who if that was their thing, that was their thing. And but uh, for those who say that marijuana is not addictive, you're wrong. It is addictive, just like alcohol or heroin or methadone or meth. All those things. Anything that is mind altering is addictive. Anything. And that's a realization you have to come to. Um, and again, a lot of people turn to weed for self medication of depression and mental illnesses. So before you put like I say, they say addiction is a disease, and I never really believed in that addiction is a disease. And still I'm not sure that I do now agree with that. But I know what is disease is mental health. Mental illness is a disease. That is a true disease. And the thing is, here's the thing about addiction. If you believe it's a disease, that's fine. But the thing is, that disease starts with a choice. And when you have that pill or that joint in your hand, you're making a choice to put that in your body. And that can be the start of your disease. I'm not saying it's the cause, I'm saying it's the start of your disease. And you're choosing to take on that disease or to not give in to that disease. You have a choice. If you're watching this and you suffer from depression or addiction, well, they go hand in hand. They do, and I feel for the addict. But if you're watching this and you are an addict, go get help. There are people who care. Go to NA. They care. It's a hard road for you, but there are people out there. Like everyone has good and bad in them. Everyone does. It's your choice which road you want to go. And there's a good life out there for you. And you can have the things that you want. Not everything, but you can strive for it. And a lot of times you'll get those things. There's a good life waiting for you. Go towards it. Where are you at now? You can have a good life. Go find it. It's there. It's waiting for you. I won't go in anymore. I know I've went too long. This is my topic for today. I'll probably touch on this subject more in later videos. Please feel free to leave a comment. And I'm not into nasty comments and all that stuff. If you leave nasty ones, that's up to you. Everybody's going to be nasty. Not everybody, but I mean, there's going to be those who are nasty. I'm not claiming to be a know-it-all in any way, shape, or form. I'm here to try to help others and have others help me. Have a good day.